My name is Twum. I'm the Chief Technology Officer at Goodwater Capital. It's a venture capital firm in San Mateo. I've been involved in ADN since 2015, so before the first Africa Diaspora Investment Symposium. I got involved in ADN through Almas, who is the founder of the organization. And so it's been 3 years since we've worked together, and specifically as a committee member for the Africa Diaspora Investment Symposium that we put together annually. So my passion is really giving back to Africa. I was born in Ghana, and I feel very privileged to have been educated in a great institution back home, made it to the States, had a very good education here, had amazing business prospects. I recognize that several people back in the continents do not have the same opportunities. So what ADN has allowed me to do is find like-minded people who care deeply about the issues that are facing the youth today in Africa, and work on events that empower these young up-and-coming future leaders to have some of the opportunities we've had and better. And through ADIS, we provide a vehicle that allows people to learn about the innovation and entrepreneurship coming out of the continent, and to partner with these entrepreneurs through funding, through support, and through network. Africa today is a sizable portion of the world, but it's also got the fastest rate of growth from a population point of view. In the next decade, Africa is going to have a significant portion of the world's population. I think there's a social responsibility for all of us to care deeply about the continent's well-being and how the people who are going to be a significant portion of our world are going to be living a decade from now. So beyond even those who have roots in Africa like myself, the world has a moral and a social obligation to help alleviate some of the issues that are going on in the continent and ensure that there's a productive workforce in Africa that's going to contribute to the world. So ADIS is all about action, and that's where it's very different from several nonprofits. So many nonprofits take funding from sponsors, myself, donors who care about the issues that they represent. ADIS is really about getting people's time and intellect. It's not just about getting their money. In fact, for the most part, we've actually never taken money from any participants at ADIS other than the nominal fee for attendance. So ADIS is primarily focused on actually getting people to connect and get involved. It's all about getting people to work with businesses and people making a difference in Africa. And that's why it's very different from most other NGOs you find doing things. And for the diasporan community, it's a way to actually get people who came out of the African continent, who are living in the diaspora, to also be able to give back, which is very different because it creates a partnership where expats, diasporans can actually connect with their home countries in meaningful ways. So they're investing, and in many cases, they're not even investing financially, they're investing their time and their knowledge, right? So if, as an expat, you have built a skill set, say in filmmaking, and there's a young man in Africa who is up and coming, trying to become a filmmaker or producer or something in the film industry, this is an opportunity for you to be able to work with that person, to mentor that person, and to help his organization. So a lot of the assistance we see coming out of ADIS is not even financial, it's a lot of network and resource help. But of course, we also encourage financial support. I think every NGO is in the business of encouraging that. But for us, action speaks a lot louder than even money. We want people to be engaged. So by giving back, people are actually investing in the future of these young entrepreneurs and these people who are making a difference in Africa. The way you can see it is, as a diasporan, you may not be on the ground to actually make a difference in some of these social issues or economic issues that are plaguing the continent. But by partnering with an entrepreneur who is actually working on the ground, you get to mentor, provide resources, provide networking, and potentially capital so that they multiply your effect, your impact. Your knowledge gets disseminated. They have the impact. They're almost like a proxy for you to have the impact you cannot have because you're not on the continent. And that's where it's very differentiated from most other NGOs, because You find people who are already making a difference, and you use your knowledge, your capital, if that's what you have, and your network to ensure that their impact succeeds, because you're not there to do that. So they're your proxies for you. So we can engage Silicon Valley and the successful corporations that are in this area, specifically through sponsorship of the events as a starter. By being sponsors of ADIS, they facilitate the opportunity for people to connect with entrepreneurs on the continent. But beyond that, we can also connect them with these enterprises that are coming out of the African continent that are being represented at ADIS, so that they can pair up with organizations that meet their values and work on the social issues they care about. So for example, a company like Google cares deeply about knowledge, making sure that knowledge is accessible to everybody. There's several entrepreneurs coming out of the African continent that are working on education and ensuring that people in rural areas have access to libraries and knowledge. There's a fit here. And so that's an opportunity for a corporation like Google to find an organization like this and directly start sponsoring them or partnering with them. So for entrepreneurs who haven't heard about ADIS, I want you to know that it is one of the most effective ways to improve your network when it comes to finding people who care about the issues that you care about, people who have capital, people who have roots in the country that you're from or in the region that you're from, and would want to provide mentorship and resources and continue to work with you to achieve your goals. So you should definitely get on down to Mountain View, which is where we're going to be hosting the next ADIS event, and participate if you haven't gotten tickets, and also get involved in ADN. ADN is our database that allows people to find you, find out about what you're doing, and also allows you to connect with other African innovators and potentially investors.